Hello aspirants, myself Kirtana Busa. I have appeared for interview in 2018. We at Narayana IAS Academy have come up with mains module to facilitate your answer writing. Important topics for the coming mains 2019 are picked, and all the important points required to cover the topic are provided in a simple and lucid manner. We are taking these points from multiple sources so that you will get sufficient points to use in the mains exam. We are also taking extreme care to provide good structure to the topic. Hope our efforts will benefit you. Having said this, let us move to the topic today. Prerequisites to achieve higher growth. This is part of your GS paper 3. Topic 1. The importance of economic growth both for lifting up those at the bottom of the income and wealth distribution and providing opportunities for everyone in the distribution cannot be overstated. Rapid, sustainable and all-encompassing growth requires a strong macroeconomic foundation which is key to achieve physical discipline and credible medium-term physical framework. Having stated the importance of higher growth, let us look into the prerequisites to achieve this growth. India has reached a sweet spot rare in the history of nations in which it could finally be launched on a double-digit medium-term growth trajectory. This trajectory would allow the country to attain the fundamental objectives of wiping every tear from every eye. The first and foremost prerequisite is stepping up private and public investment, which is an inescapable prerequisite for higher growth. And this should be by raising India's domestic savings rate, both public and private. During 1997 to 2003, aggregate savings saw a dramatic turnaround. Domestic savings were 36% of GDP and investment rate was 38% of GDP, and this extra 2% is from foreign investment. However, foreign investment is not preferable because foreign inflows impact currency and financial stability, and these are also not as reliable as domestic savings. There can be sudden reversals, so our focus should be on domestic savings. The third prerequisite is the steps should be taken towards physical consolidation and there should be moderate inflation. Extreme inflation, either high or low, is not good for economic growth. Hence, there is a need for moderate inflation and lower interest rates. All these factors have an element of virtuous cycle, that is, a lower physical deficit will lead to lower interest rates and lower public borrowing, which will leave extra room for private investments, and all these factors will contribute to higher economic growth and improving ease of doing business and a priority focus on investment in human capital. Human capital in the sense education, health and skills will have an Indian version of East Asian miracle. In order to achieve this higher growth, there is a need to provide an environment which is easy to do the business, and we have to focus on investment of the human capital and increasing the share of Indian exports in global markets, as well as focus on MSME sector and labor intensive sectors like textiles and apparels will lead to job-led growth rather than jobless growth. So there is a need to focus on labor intensive sectors. Policy innovations that provide a direct and indirect boost to growth without denting physical consolidation. So there is a need for us to focus on the policy innovations. For instance, the golden phase of 2003 and 8 was a confluence of both circumstances and conscious policy. And during this period of 2002 to 2008, there was an average annual real growth of 8.7%, and during this period there was policy innovations like the domestic tax holiday for India's blooming software industry. Even though the government has lost in terms of corporate taxes from software exporters due to this tax holiday, but it has made up through income tax. In its heyday, the industry claimed that nearly 40% of all individual income tax collections came from employees of this sector alone. So there is a need to take innovations in the policy to boost the economic growth. There is a need to unlock the potential of new funding sources like debt and equity to boost the growth. This is another point which is prerequisite for higher growth. As rightly said by former Deputy Governor Rakesh Mohan in a report titled Moving India to a New Growth Trajectory, there is a need to shift the attention on higher growth rate in a manner in which there can be greater employment generation. Since the economic growth of India is low and the finance ministry is focusing on revival of growth, we can expect a question on this topic. What are the prerequisites for the higher growth in the economy, since growth is a part of your GS3 topic. Hope this video is helpful. Thank you and all the best.